So you dream of being able to live off your dividends soon in your life? If so, you're going to need to put together a diversified portfolio of higher income producing holdings in order to achieve that goal quicker. While dividend stocks offer investors regular quarterly payouts, there are other investment options out there that'll earn you a lot more income, or at least increase your monthly income that you get from dividends. The best thing is that these investments can all be done from the comfort of your own favorite brokerage. I'm going to talk about 3 other sources of income and dividends in this video. But first, let's hear a moment from our sponsor, which is that red button below. If it's red, go ahead, smash it, make it gray, and then you have good luck on your next 5 trades. So you like dividend stocks, but have you ever looked at real estate investment trusts? Real estate investment trusts are more commonly called REITs. These are important to any income investor as they tend to pay higher dividends than your typical dividend growth stock. REITs pool together the capital of many investors and use that to purchase or finance income producing real estate. By law, they're required to pay out 90% of their profits they receive back to shareholders in the form of dividends in order to continue to receive some very beneficial tax treatments. This means that the dividend is going to be paid out a majority of the time, so you don't have to worry about it being cut, because if they do that, they lose that very important benefit. If you ever wanted to own real estate but were afraid of everything involved, such as getting a mortgage, finding tenants, collecting rent, upkeeping the property, and dealing with confusing taxes, then owning a REIT can be a great thing for you. According to the National Association of Real Estate Investment Trusts, there's an estimated 145 million Americans that own some type of REIT through their retirement accounts. There are hundreds of publicly traded REITs for you to choose from, and most pay a quarterly dividend, while some do pay a monthly dividend to the shareholders. It seems like most REITs pay between 2 to 7% a year in dividends, so you get this income going to your account, while you can also make more money from REITs as they gain value over time, assuming that they are growing. One of the most popular REITs is Realty Income. The ticker symbol is O. I personally love Realty Income, and if you've been following this channel, you know that I routinely trade options on it, especially in my Roth IRA. And when I do get the shares, I love collecting that monthly dividend while I sell covered calls on it. Since Realty Income was listed on the New York Stock Exchange in 1994, they've had 115 dividend increases. This is just income that just keeps on growing. And if you want even higher income from dividends, the next thing that you can look at are called income funds. It's no secret that I'm heavily invested in some of these income funds. The ones in my portfolio are QYLD, DEVO, JEPI, and SCHD. These income ETFs are designed to generate monthly income that goes right into your pocket. These are great for people that are looking to retire early and live off dividends, but need just a little bit more yield from their dividend portfolio. These income funds use options in order to generate cash that gets paid out in a monthly dividend. Some of these do have a higher expense ratio than your typical ETFs, such as 0.6%, but they're more actively managed because they're working to generate that income for you on a monthly basis. QYLD, for example, sells covered calls on their holdings. This means that they are promising to sell some shares at some price in the future, usually for a profit if the stock goes up. For doing that, they get cash, which can be quite significant. And by using a variety of income funds, you can create a portfolio that can pay you a big dividend every month, while also retaining some potential for growth and capital appreciation, depending on how you mix these income funds. The next income generating strategy you can do is to use options. Now, this channel, I have a lot of videos to explain how to do this, but I know it's a scary word, and you hear horror stories about how people lose everything by buying options. What you may not know is that instead of buying options, you can sell options. If buying options is the equivalent of being a gambler, then selling options is the equivalent of being a casino. The house always wins. An income investor can increase their returns by a few percent a year while staying relatively safe. An investor that can handle more risk can get a 1% return a month, or even a week if you want to be a little bit more aggressive. But let's just say for this video that you're going to stay safe, and we're just going to be looking for 3 to 5% a year using some safer option plays. If you're a dividend investor, chances are you have a lot of shares of various dividend aristocrats. Did you know you can sell covered calls on 100 shares of one of your stocks? A covered call is simply you promising to sell your shares at a specific price in the future. You choose what you're okay with selling your shares at, but even if the stock price goes up to that price, you can always manage the option contract so that you can keep your shares anyway. You can sell a covered call with an expiration of 30 days. This means you can do this 12 times a year. Every time you sell the covered call, you're receiving cash that you can turn around and instantly invest in more shares. You can use it to pick up more shares of a dividend stock right before the dividend gets paid. You can essentially turn any dividend stock that pays a quarterly dividend into a monthly income paying asset by using options. You can collect as much as the dividend while selling a covered call, which essentially means that you are doubling your income by using covered calls on a monthly paying dividend stock. It'll be a lot quicker to drip more shares if you use covered calls. Now, if the share price gets up and you're being threatened to sell your shares and you really don't want to, you can turn around and roll the contract out in time. This means you're buying back your current contract for a small loss to turn around and sell the same contract another month out in time for even more income. You're being paid to wait to be right, which is really cool. Theoretically, you can do this indefinitely until your contract expires worthless and you get to keep your shares anyway. The best part is a passive strategy like this only takes a few minutes every month to set up, and then you can just completely forget about it and just manage it on the final day of the contract. If you have portfolio margin, you can even use your dividend stocks as collateral to sell puts on stocks to generate monthly income as well. But be careful not to over leverage too much. And this might be more of an advanced strategy, which is something that I want you to be aware that you can do in the future if you learn how to use options appropriately. With all these different sources of income, you can easily increase your monthly income and hopefully retire early and live off your passive income. I hope I gave you some new ideas to increase your monthly income. And if you're interested in learning more about options, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Check out some of my older videos. I made a lot of tutorials training you how to get started with options and how you should begin with getting practicing. And then you can always join the Discord server. It's completely free. And talk with like-minded traders who are very happy to share their knowledge. I know I still learn stuff from people in that Discord as well. So it's a very valuable resource and it's completely free. There's really no reason not to check it out. So I'm curious, what do you do in order to increase your monthly income? Go ahead, leave a comment below, explain your strategy. I'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out one of these two videos, and you can start learning about how to use options or income ETFs to boost your passive income.